Yesterday, former acting Attorney General Sally Yates gave some pretty damning testimony that the White House picked for National Security Advisor Michael Flynn lied to officials about his ties to Russia, and it put the U.S. in a potentially dangerous position. Now take a look.
We felt like it was critical that we get this information to the White House in part because the Vice President was unknowingly making false statements to the public, and because we believed that General Flynn was compromised with respect to the Russians. We believed that the Russians knew this, but that they likely had proof of this information. And that created a compromise situation, a situation where the National Security Advisor essentially could be blackmailed by the Russians.
Now, speaking of black males, apparently President Obama also warned the White House that Flynn could be a problem. So now, if 55 people are telling you there's a problem, why would you ignore all these red flags?
This concerned me a lot because I remember at the time seeing Mike Pence go out there and put himself on the line and say that Mike Flynn was not talking about sanctions with Russia on those phone calls. That turned out to be false. Now, he was given that false information and was out there jeopardizing his own reputation, his own credibility. And now I'm saying, if the White House top lawyer knew that that wasn't the case, and if President Trump knew that that wasn't the case, why did he put his vice president at the time out there to disseminate this false information and hence ruin his own credibility? I don't know. I really don't know, because it doesn't help him. I was trying to think of an angle where it would help him, but that's your right-hand man.
People in your cabinet like Paul Manafort and Carter Page and Rex Tillerson and Roger Stone that also have had connections with the Russians, and they maybe have had secret meetings. Then you certainly don't want to fire one person because it leads to a trickle-down effect, right? So everybody
he doesn't think he did anything wrong. In his own presser, he said that President Trump had said in the presser that he really didn't see anything wrong here. So,
but he's a pathological liar.
Yeah, but I also think
anything he says
might be the only thing he's ever told the truth about.
That actually sounded kind of truthful, honestly.
Really?
Do you think Trump thinks he did anything?
Well, he doesn't understand the law, I think. He has a fundamental misunderstanding of that. And what is surprising to me, and it shows that misunderstanding, is right before Sally Yates' testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee, he tweets out a threat to her. He witness tampers. He said something like, ask Sally Yates under oath if she knows how classified information got into the newspapers soon after she explained it to White House counsel, implying somehow that she leaked.
So that's how it happened, dude.
Yeah, so I think what's crazy about that is you have a president who is witness tampering, who's threatening a witness.
Wait a minute.
That's
it gets
20
better.
years in prison.
So you have the outgoing president, who you know is not a fan of yours, doesn't have to tell you jack. Doesn't have to tell you anything. Pulls your coattails and says, look, dude, you might not want to mess with it. I already been down this road, and this guy is not a good fit.
He also said that about Kim Jong-un. He warned him about the North Korea dictator. He's your biggest problem. He was very nice to Trump,
the betterment of the country, I think.
Well, I think that was what we know of Trump. That was his stubbornness, saying, well, if President Obama is trying to tell me this, then I'm just not going to listen. But in this case, what he was saying was, this is someone whose name has come up too many times when we're researching and investigating Russia's potential involvement in our election. This is not someone you want at the forefront. It was a valid point.
There's an interesting number. In Watergate, there was an 18-minute gap on the tape, and nobody really knew what Rosemary Woods, Nixon's secretary, erased 18 minutes of the tape, which was an incriminating, remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this case, Sally Yates tells him, this guy is compromised, he's in bed with the Russians, and they keep him for 18 days. I thought that was just an interesting...
And longer if you calculate when President Obama warned him.
Play that number.
It's just on... I'm going to play that number.
My mom says that all the time. Play the number of the lottery. All the time.
My grandmother used to say that. That's your
I'm just going to put this out because gambling outside of specific places is illegal.
Yes.
So we are not condoning gambling.
No.
We're just saying, should there be a number near you? That's the one to look. No, you don't want to look for a bookie.
No.
Actually, but so you have this whole thing. You have this whole thing. Someone is saying, fire, fire, fire.
Yeah.
We're burning here. And they go, no, we're not.
Yeah. And I think what's also maddening is that he continues attending top-level security briefings.
Right.
He's attending a meeting with discussing
Putin.
Iran with Putin.
Conversations
He's back on the phone with Russia. He has the thing when they put Iran on notice.
I think Al Franken was Senator Franken was on the right path when he said, why would he do that? Which is, I think, where you're going. Why would he do that unless somehow he himself was compromised or other members of the cabinet?
I can see that point, but it also tarnished his own credibility because your vice president, like I'm saying, is your right-hand man. So if he's out there saying something that's false, it makes him look bad, and
as long as he didn't know.
Yeah, well,
as long as he didn't listen.
My impression of Mike Pence is that he did not know.
In this administration, nobody knows what anybody knows. I just feel like, and that's what, and for me, that's what this kind of craziness does. It makes me suspect everybody.
That's true, but Mike Pence, I can tell you just from following him for years, he's not stupid, and he wouldn't go. He's not a dumb guy. He wouldn't go out there and say something that he knew would bite him in the butt.
Party following. When you follow your party line and not the people's lines, it makes you do things that you would not normally do.
And justify
and justify it. So again, I'm not accusing Mike Pence. I'm saying, for me, it puts it in my head, well, what did you know? Or did you know? Or what the hell? You know?
think Trump is scared right now? I think he's a little scared.
I don't know if he's scared. I still believe he thinks he's golden.
I don't know.
I think
where they smoke this fire. Come on.
Looks like he's on defense
I don't know.
He's
I
on
don't know.
defense.
I mean, he's threatening a witness.
He even said something in the tweet. Go ahead, Whoopi. Sorry.
Thank you. We got to go. We'll be right back.